Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts, going to be doing our predictions for what we think is going to happen in the Season 7 finale for Game of Thrones. And spoiler warning, if you guys are not caught up for Game of Thrones as of yet, that is up to the second last episode for Game of Thrones Season 7. That's Episode 6, Beyond the Wall. So this one, I'm going to give my thoughts for the final episode of Season 7 of Game of Thrones. This season has just gone by so crazy fast, being shown at a different time of the year than what we're used to during the summer instead of during the spring. But man, even though it's been short and sweet, I want to say. There's been some really awesome stuff this season. They haven't wasted almost any time. They've really crammed a lot of stuff in, and hopefully this last episode will be a really good one. This is our longest episode yet. This is an 81-minute episode, which is great to see. Because, of course, with it being a shorter season, a lot of us are, we want to get as much Game of Thrones content as we can. And the more minutes they put into an episode, the better. So we've got the promo, as usual, for this episode. I do not have an official episode title or official synopsis. I'm not sure why that hasn't been released. Usually it is, but maybe with HBO battling all the leaks lately and stuff, maybe they're holding back on that. There's also some speculation online I've seen already that this finale episode might be leaked as well. Some hackers threatening to leak it, stuff like this. So maybe that's something I could cover for tomorrow. This season has just been really crazy with the leaks, having 2 episodes leaked early, and one of them being Episode 6, which is usually the biggest episode of each season or each year, the second last episode. So pretty crazy stuff this season going on. But even though all that drama, whatever is happening with the leaks and things accidentally being released or whatever, still it's Game of Thrones, so still enjoying the absolute hell out of it. So for this last episode, Episode 7, we see in the promo, we've got the Unsullied, led by Grey Worm. So it's cool to see them back again. They haven't really been in the last few episodes because, of course, the battle that was going on at Casterly Rock with with Euron and the forces of the Greyjoys that have joined with Cersei, against Daenerys and the others. So, I kind of like this one. This one, I think, puts it in place a little bit better and kind of shows and illustrates to us a little bit better why maybe going with Jon's plan was the best way to go, even though they lost men and it wasn't 100% easy. They almost all died. And Daenerys, of course, lost, spoilers, the dragon, and now it's been added to the army of the dead. Even though that looks like a terrible loss, in this episode, though, it kind of puts it in context a little bit better, because even in the preview, you get to see the amount of forces Cersei does still have. Cersei and Euron do have. And it is still something. I think that they know if they fight Daenerys to the death, Daenerys is going to win. They know that for sure. At this point, but it probably would not be a sweeping victory either. Cersei is crafty. She's not afraid to use things like wildfire. She's not afraid to sacrifice her own people and do some crazy stuff. So she is definitely formidable, in and of herself. Also, of course, Lannisters have now paid their debts, so there is a potential there for her to possibly maybe, take some gold, take a loan, and possibly, buy an army of mercenaries, which is never as good as a loyal army, but still, if it's all you can get, then it is possible for Cersei to do so. So maybe it does make sense for them to all try to join together and put their differences aside, even though they did lose, some people in the process, and it looked like a total disaster as we're seeing it all going down in Episode 6. Maybe it makes sense when you see the amount of ships that Euron has and the others. They do have a lot. So if the battle continues and the war continues, obviously there's going to be a lot more people lost than what they lost in this little crazy expedition where they did lose one dragon. Still, it'd probably be, in terms of the force of good, our human side, still probably better if this all works out. If it works out and they all are able to join together, which getting to see Daenerys' forces there with the Unsullied and the Dothraki and everything, it's like, wow, and then of course consider she does still have 2 dragons. And that's, that's going to be something. So, it makes more sense if they can get Cersei and the others to join, I suppose. As crazy, it's kind of a crazy idea, but still, if they could do it and all join together against the Night King and the Undead, they would probably stand a lot better of a chance. If it becomes a battle to the death and Jon and Daenerys have to go together and wipe out the others, while that's happening, if they get bogged down in war, the undead army could come through at that time, and then they're really screwed because they're fighting a battle here, and and maybe it's bogged down, their men are tied up, and then you've got the army of the undead coming in. So maybe this does make sense on second thought. As crazy as the idea was with Jon and the others going beyond the wall, maybe it does make sense. This episode really looks cool. Just really getting to see everybody meet face to face again after all these seasons. There's one thing about Game of Thrones, or at least in the past before, with kind of the slower pacing, anytime you had a group go anywhere, it took a while. If you have a group travel from, Winterfell to King's Landing, it usually takes several episodes. If you have Brotherhood Without Banners, traveling through the forest, it usually takes them a long time to go through. You wouldn't see them start off in King's Landing in one episode and usually end up at the wall in one later on. That's very rare early on in Game of Thrones to see that. Usually it's spread out pretty well, and it takes a while to do almost anything. But one positive thing of the crazy pacing they've been doing lately is we get to see this stuff right away without any kind of filler, without any of it getting bogged down. The story has been moving at a very rapid pace, very fast, and as a result, they're probably not going to lose any viewers. So we see basically both sides meet at this time. You got Jon with Daenerys and the others, so they are kind of alliance. Of course, we have all of her people like Tyrion, which is cool to see in the promo. He's kind of it shows him looking around. That's going to be really cool to see him, maybe see Cersei again and to see if she gives him some kind of death stare or something. But of course, she knows now as well, too, that it actually wasn't him who killed Joffrey. It actually was. So he was actually innocent. It was Olenna. So maybe she doesn't hate Tyrion so much now. She's always kind of hated him, but maybe at this point, she might not hate him as much as she would have had that not have been revealed earlier on this season. It just looks like quite the spectacle to get to see these different factions that were so spread out all throughout the series get to come together, sit down, and discuss what they're going to do. There's only one real line in the promo, and it's from Jon Snow. He says, in this brief, so it's there is only one war that matters, and it is here, which is really cool. And also in episode 6, we did really get to see, we kind of already knew how strong the White Walkers are, but that really did reinforce it for us when you see the Night's King, throwing his ice javelin, his ice javelin spears at the dragons, looking to take down, like he's not even scared of dragons. So, you really do get to see from that just how fearsome the White Walker army is, and of course they get stronger every battle. So as you battle them, if they knock you back and you lose a position, you don't just lose that, but all the men who fought against them die and then get added to the dead, and then they get even stronger. So they kind of get stronger and stronger each battle as they go, assuming they win, because then they're going to probably be adding even more members to their ranks than you're able to kill, or at the very least breaking even back to where they were before the battle. Meanwhile, you're losing all these men along the way. So it just really looks exciting. I can't wait to see. I'm not into spoilers for this part yet. No one's ruined anything for me yet for this one. And I'd like to keep it that way. So hopefully they can keep the leaks under control, and we can actually get to see an episode without all this stuff. But I've been hearing that, there is spoilers out there. So beware, guys. The usual joke, the internet is dark and full of spoilers. So be careful. If you don't want to get spoiled for yourself, then, be careful for this week. But yeah, man, this should be a great finale just to get to see them all come together now. And I really like the way Game of Thrones is starting to, in the finale in the last couple seasons, really unravel, have all these events come together, have all these kind of fan theory type of things come to be, like getting to see maybe Jon and Daenerys in a relationship, possibly having kids or children, as what might be kind of foreshadowed by Jorah there in episode 6. This is fan theory kind of stuff kind of coming to fruition. So it's great to see a lot of these things that people have really demanded, really wanted to see for a long time, or, maybe dreamt to see actually start to happen. So that's really cool. We'll have to see if Cersei tries anything in this episode. I would tend to think she probably won't, not because she doesn't want to, but probably because of the situation. Probably because of Daenerys being stronger than her, and her knowing it, her knowing that Daenerys can take her out if she wants to. She will not win if it comes down to that. But this being a good opportunity for her to at least bide her time until maybe later, and then maybe turn on Daenerys and the others later when the opportunity is right for her. That's the way I would think Cersei is thinking about this right now. So bide her time and wait for the right opportunity, and then go for it. So we'll see if the dead man is unveiled to the others and how they react to that, how they respond, how they feel about it. I don't think Jaime will be too surprised because he, of course, just saw, got his ass kicked by a dragon. So I think for him, he's probably going to, I've seen this stuff, right? But for Cersei and some of the others, maybe if they didn't believe this kind of stuff, it should be cool to get to see that kind of reveal and, what that looks like. So really good stuff. I can't wait to see the finale. You guys can send me your questions for the Q&A for this week. I do want to make lots of videos, so I just hope it goes well and we can make those and the episode isn't leaked early, which kind of, for me, it spoils the fun because then I don't really want to cover it. And anyway, I've talked about that and what spoilers do, but let's just hope it all goes out well and that we have, a really fun finale for this season for Game of Thrones. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, write your questions below for the Q&A, guys, and check out the review if you missed it. If you like this predictions video and what, think is going to happen, then, write your own predictions below and thumb up the video if you want to. You can also share and favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys soon. Again, as always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you tomorrow.